listen, when Christopher Nolan announced a couple months ago, that's right. When Christopher Nolan announced a couple of months ago that he was going to do the Odyssey, Jed and I took a moment to say, this is going to either be one of the greatest cinematic presentations of all time, or it's going to be a hot steaming pile on concrete.
Oh, you were being, reasonable with your predictions with that, with your take on that. I was coming in my pants.
Okay, 26 minutes. I've got to write these down.
I'm writing it.
All right, you write it down. 26 minutes.
Come on, it's my favorite book and my favorite director.
I know.
Until the casting came out, I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to love going to the theater for the first time in a decade. This is going to be fantastic. No.
And we got the initial cast. We rolled our eyes. Okay, Tom Holland, Zendaya. As long as they don't make Tom Holland Odysseus. Okay, it's Matt Damon. Okay, he's probably this. We see Anne Hathaway, Penelope. We know she's probably Penelope. And that was kind of all we got in the beginning. It was like, okay, let's see where they go. And then we got announcements of Ellen Page. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to say her name because we're in America and we don't have to play that game anymore because it's the law. We don't have to play that game anymore. So Ellen Page was cast, and then Christopher Nolan just said diversity and diversity. And this week we got an extended cast list announcement, and also Jed had to inform me. I wasn't aware this thing is currently filming.
It is, and I have all those photos ready for you.
Yeah, so we got.
Wait, casting is done for that?
It's been done. They're filming.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things where the casting announcements are coming out as we find them filming. That's one of these things. So this is a short list, but it's basically official that Matt Damon is Odysseus.
Well, this isn't official. This is a report from a Greek media outlet, so this isn't 100% confirmed, but it's reasonable enough. It's out of the realm of rumors enough to talk about, but it's not official.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me. Matt Damon is likely Odysseus. Tom Holland is likely Telemachus. Zendaya is Athena.
You got to be smoking heroin. That can't be true.
It probably is. Yes. Jay Fraser adds this one here. She's not up here. Oh, no, there's right there. Yeah, it's up here. We got Charlize Theron as Circe. Anne Hathaway with Penelope, which is the only one that really works. It's the only one that truly works.
I don't think Circe is that bad because, she isn't required to have any sort of real emotional range or anything. Like, you don't need a really talented actress to play Circe. It's a smaller role, and Charlize Theron does have this alien look to her, this alien quality that I think works for Circe because she's not human, obviously. Yeah. So that one I'm okay with. That one I just relegate to no opinion on whatsoever. Anne Hathaway I think is decent, but yeah.
Hello, Dragon Lady. Basically, Circe's just there to get boned by Odysseus. That's what she's there to do. She's boned by Odysseus.
And I wonder if they're going to set up the third book because it's a trilogy, right? It's the Iliad, the Odyssey, and then the Telemachy was lost to time. But we do have a synopsis of that followed Telemachus and Odysseus going back to Circe's island and finding out that she had Odysseus' kid. So I wonder if they'll set that up.
He spent a long time there boning her.
He did.
While everybody else was animals. So that's the thing.
It's a good thing it's not a Middle Eastern story because he wouldn't be banging her if it were.
Oof. Wait, but they have a casting for a Calypso yet? Please,
no.
There's still a chance. Vanessa Williams, she can still come back.
It's not going to happen.
Don't take this from me, Adam. You, Vanessa Williams.
Hey, listen, you take everything from me, I could take something from you.
Fair enough.
Benny Safdie is Agamemnon, and Lupita Nyong'o as Clytemnestra.
So that one's a problem for several reasons. So yeah, she's
blacker than Dre.
She is. but her role in the story in the Iliad and the Odyssey is immensely small. Like, I don't even know if she has more than 3 speaking lines in the Odyssey when Telemachus goes to visit her. But she's the wife of Agamemnon, who stays in, basically rules the kingdom as regent of the city-state, while Agamemnon and the Greeks go to war against the Trojan. And it's virtually nothing, but there has been a feminist narrative built around her in modern years, saying that she ruled Greece better than her husband and that she kept the warring states together, even though there's virtually no evidence that she did anything besides sit in her throne and,
There was also nobody there to war. They were all off in Troy. How can you war when your armies aren't there anymore?
a little worried about how that's gonna work. But yeah, if they just relegate her to a side character or like she's a fixture of the scene, you can roll your eyes. But if they go the feminist route, that's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. And we don't. These are only the guests we have. But as I said, Jed told me that they're filming.
Mm-hmm.
They're filming, and I'm glad Dre is here because we're gonna need you to read.
You ready for those?
We're gonna need you to read a couple of things.
We do need you to read a couple of things. But the first photo I have here is of Tom Holland as Telemachus. It's pretty clearly Telemachus because he's in traveling garb, and like it makes sense. I believe that one, and it's the casting that makes the most sense for him.
Yeah.
But I described this costume to Adam last night. I want to see if you guys agree with my description of it when you see it. I feel like this is Frodo Baggins from Fellowship of the Ring without his vest. All right.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Is this a Greek?
Yeah. Oh,
No.
God.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I know it's bad. My hot chocolate. Laughing at that.
I love the little life jacket Chris is wearing in the background. This
Aw.
looks so bad.
I mean, but this ain't got nothing to do with Middle Earth. Why the heck is he wearing like he's going to the Shire? I said it right, didn't I? I said Shire. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
you
all
said it
right.
I mean, here's the thing. I am not a fan of the movie Troy because it excised all the mythological aspects out of the Trojan War.
I like that movie.
It's
got good action, but
it's a well choreographed
it's not an adaptation of the Iliad.
but it butchers the story and it takes out all the mythological stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
But
it was more grounded.
Grounded. But the costuming was spot on. It
was pretty
looked
good.
right. The styles were right. What is this? What is this? I don't know
This
what
is
this
a High
is.
School Musical.
Well, Tom Holland looks like he's
like
still in
that.
high school.
Mhm.
So, all right, what else do we have?
All right, we have this
Black.
armor,
That's
Here we go.
that's a black man. What?
and yeah, none of this armor looks good or correct. They seem to forget that this is in the Bronze Age.
You know,
But Dre, apparently this guy's been named, and we're not allowed to say the name.
Oh
zoom in a little
no,
bit.
that's not true.
Zoom in.
That can't be right. Is that supposed to be Nigasius? Is that how that's
He's black. He can say it.
Yeah, it's okay, YouTube.
Can you imagine? Like, come therefore, Nigasius.
I want to say it so bad because it's funny.
It's pretty good.
All right, that's funny. He got
Oh
me.
no.
That's awesome.
All right.
But this
yeah.
is what I will say in regards to this, and historically speaking, when it comes to the Greeks at the height of their power, of course we can. This is what I'm going to say. I don't think there should be a whole bunch of Afro folks of Afro descent featured in this, but at the same time, if you want to say that due to parts of Northern and maybe Eastern African being colonized by the Greeks, which is definitely something that happened in all of history. Did you look at Cleopatra, stuff like that? And then they imported either African slaves or whatever soldiers to actually fight in the war because it was an all Greek nation against Troy. I can see how this can be justified. Now, I doubt they'll do that.
Yeah.
But I see how that can be justified in that way. If we're going to just take it all as like a historical period piece.
Oh, no, you're absolutely correct. From a historical perspective, there is reasonable justification for Black people to be around in the surrounding events in a minor way because, Greek and parts of Africa aren't that far apart. Sub-Saharan, like this guy, I think is a stretch, but like Egyptians, I think you'd totally see Egyptians around. The problem is that they're doing the name characters that we have physical descriptions of,
And that's
that
the
we
problem.
know their ancestry. Those ones shouldn't be race swapped, but if you have...
They already are, though.
Right. But if you went like, some guys on Odysseus' crew were Black, but they were unnamed characters. Yeah, no problem with that. And there are actual mythological justifications to certain race swaps. Like the best example that I can come up with is Dionysus. So Dionysus, it's a classic story. Zeus cheated on his wife, Hera found out and wanted to kill the baby. And so Dionysus as a baby was raised in Africa as a girl. That's a side note. But in modern day Ethiopia, I believe it was. So Dionysus appearing as black makes sense because he had to blend in Ethiopia for his entire childhood through teenage years. Like, if you wanted to make Dionysus black, I could see a justification for that. But that's the problem with what Jerry and I are saying. They're not going to justify any of this. There are ways that you can in this story that you couldn't in, say, Lord of the Rings or King Arthur's Tale or something like that.
100%.
But they're just not going to care. They're not going to even try, and that's where the problem comes from.
Zendaya, Athena.
Luckily, there's no photos of her. I might die. She's just not old enough, not mature enough. She doesn't.
Good actress.
Not a good actress. But yeah, the big thing about Athena is when she's in her Athena form, because she does disguise herself throughout the film, so that's separate. But when she's Athena, she should be regal and intelligent. And when you look at her, you're like, she can see into my soul. I'm not saying anything, but she knows what I'm thinking. That's the type of look that she's supposed to give. The casting that I would have loved, it's way too late now for obvious reasons. But Maggie Smith at her prime, like say in her 40s, would be the perfect Athena. That would be like my dream casting for Athena. Does Zendaya say any of those things that Maggie Smith would have?
No.
Zendaya
Maggie
doesn't even
Smith
say woman.
is a legend. So
Zendaya doesn't even say
no.
woman. She's just
No.
a 12-year-old boy. Anyway,
Athena's not. It doesn't matter that Athena's not that attractive though, because she is the virgin goddess, the one of the few real virgin goddess. Because like Demeter, she was banging her ladies. She was banging her ladies and called herself a virgin. But Athena and Hestia were actually, proper virgins. Demeter's like, well, I ain't been penetrated, so I'm a virgin. The others are like, well, no, you're not really.
all right, we got another picture though.
We got several more.
Right,
so this is John Bernthal. He's going to be in it. It looks like he's going to be the leader of the suitors, is the assumption. We don't have any confirmation on that. Not everyone likes his shaved head, though. I don't know how they got that close of a shave in those eras. But, I think that's really bad casting for him. The leader of the suitors needs to be a little bit slimy.
Pretty boy. It needs to be a pretty boy.
Absolutely a pretty boy. I think John Bernthal would have made a better cast for Odysseus than Matt Damon. Not the best. Kenneth Branagh's still, pinnacle. Bulk him up and he's perfect. John Bernthal, I think, would have done a better job, though, than Matt Damon. And there's plenty of other roles that would have been good for John Bernthal as well. Just the leader of the suitors is wrong for him. And Robert Pattinson, he's in the movie, but we still don't know what role he's playing. I think he could have done a good leader of the suitors.
Man, they're going to make him Achilles.
That wouldn't be terrible.
Sparkly Achilles. Sparkly Achilles.
Sparkly Achilles.
Sparkly. Oh, Lord.
Achilles. Is there any more pictures?
Yep.
Oh, no. Okay.
We have a look at what the boats look like.
Okay.
So, This looks like Telemachus traveling to the other kingdoms of Greece to find out what's going on with his dad to try to get help to save his mom.
I have a man bun on that dude.
There is a man bun on that dude.
Oh.
Adam, let the man have his bun. Yeah.
Man buns are gay.
Greeks are what?
Well,
That's fair.
Okay, fair point. But man buns are still gay. Someday Dan Vasco will write a song on that.
This ship is fine. I think it looks cheap. That's the problem. It looks cheap and poorly made. This is, the son of Odysseus. He's a man of wealth. Ithaca isn't a poor country. I mean, it's getting poor because of the suitors, but the boats would have been purchased and made before all of that. Mm-hmm. But this looks like this movie doesn't have the $400 million budget we're assuming it does. It sounds like it's got a $100 million budget, if that. And that's none of this looks good for a high budget movie. All the costumes, the sets, everything we've seen looks cheap.
And here's the thing: Christopher Nolan is notoriously anti CGI.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That means what you're seeing is likely what you're going to get. They're not going to spend money touching shit up with CGI.
No, with stuff like this. I mean, you're still going to see monster CGI and stuff like that, but set CGI.
Scylla Charybdis, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Circe's Island,
Polyphemus to a certain extent, unless they go animatronic, which there are rumors he's going to go animatronic.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool, but
I think that would be a good role for John Bernthal as well. Polyphemus.
Jay Fraser says the budget right now is $250 million.
Yeah, the reason I said 400 is it's the same, realm that we talk about with the Marvel movies, where that's
It's
the
gonna
initial
go-
budget and it's got to blow up because of
It's
how many
going to
high
blow.
budget actors are in this. It's probably going to
Yeah.
blow up.
Yeah.
But this doesn't look like a $250 million production.
Yeah, me personally, I kind of like the design of the boat. I think, I mean, obviously, it's actually real and it's actually in front of me, so that's always a great thing.
Mhm.
And based on the front of the hull, it gives me Spartan vibes. So like this kind of like gives me the right feel for like these are Spartan slash Thracian type ships. So I think that's kind of cool. But what you said, Jed, like I might have been a budget constraint. I don't know. For the most captains or admirals of those guards have larger ships. So I'm maybe we're not seeing the whole thing. Maybe this was just an initial shot. Maybe they actually built one that's bigger that's actually going to be used. But yeah, I agree. I agree. For the spectacle of it all, I think this ship should have been bigger. And
Yeah,
more.
I mean, this isn't the ship that Odysseus is sailing across the Aegean Sea.
Yeah,
or anything
those
like
would have been warships. This
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
This
like
is just Telemachus going to visit some people.
this equivalent of his rich boy sports car driving
Yeah.
around is what it is.
Mhm.
Basically,
still,
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I'm underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed. That's a great way of putting it.
Underwhelmed is good.
At this point. Also
I think
because
that's-
we get another look at Tom Holland in his Frodo garb.
Ugh.
That doesn't
With a bandana or something around his neck. I don't know
That's
what's
an
going on.
ascot, my friend. That's an ascot.
Is that an ascot?
What are we, Fred Jones and Scooby Doo? All right. Is there another one? You got more?
No. That's it. It
That's
just
it?
has a
That's it?
comparison.
All
Wait,
right.
never mind.
Oh, no.
This
Oh,
is really it. So
okay.
yeah, another shot of the boat.
Yeah, I think the scale is good.
For a
I think
small
The
boat,
the scale is fine. I'm just talking about the quality of the material.
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
material
agree
looks
with you. I
cheap.
agree with that,
The size I think makes sense. The size is perfect for what we're going for, but it just looks cheaply made.
Sure.
And,
I'll give you that.
and then some wider shots of the people in their armor.
Yeah.
I want to say it, but I can't.
I'm assuming this is Athena when she.
Odysseus.
It
Oh,
might be
Athena.
Odysseus. It might Athena shapeshifts into an old
Yeah.
beggar.
Yeah.
For
I'm
part of the
thinking-
story, it might be
But
Odysseus.
at the end, yeah, Athena puts a glamour on Odysseus to
Mhm.
look like an old man. So it could be.
It's true. It could be
Odysseus,
either one.
so, yeah.
More. It's a double man bun.
That's even worse. So it's double gay. Double gay. I could say
and
something else, but that would like hurt the stream.
In all these photos, Nolan looks upset. I don't know. He's
Well,
usually a
alright.
very flat person.
All right, so let's go into that then. We said this at the beginning of this discussion when we started talking about this, when this became a thing that was gonna be real. This is not Nolan's playground. This
No.
is not his wheelhouse.
Mhm.
He does grounded. He takes things that are up there and he grounds them, and he puts more often than not unique, intelligent spin on it that is a little high thought on that kind of thing.
Mhm.
He doesn't do fantasy, and you can't. This isn't. I talked about Troy earlier. They made it work, but they diminished it because
Mhm.
you could make Troy work without it. Because it's very easy to say, dude steals another man's bride, runs off. Dude is brother of the strongest king in Greece, able to rally armies, go sack city. Very easy to take out the mythological aspects, even with Achilles being a demigod, this and that.
Mhm.
Very easy to do that. So
100%.
you can't do that with the Odyssey.
Mhm.
The Odyssey is 85% fantastical.
Well, yeah, the whole thing happens because he offends a god.
Yeah.
Everything he comes across are magical creatures or gods or nymphs or something like that.
Mhm.
Titans. There's virtually no non-magical or mythological encounters in the film besides the suitors.
Yeah, and the only time you're grounded is the slaughter at the end of the story, which I will say that's probably still gonna be the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's it.
I want to see his interpretation of the shooting through the 12 axe heads.
Mhm.
That a lot of people see that differently because it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. How do you do that?
And I'm curious to see. I want to see the cinematography for stringing the bow.
Mhm.
That's gonna have to be really a well-crafted scene because it's do and then zoop got it and then goes right into slaughter.
Are you gonna believe Tom Holland and Matt Damon can take on 40 dudes in a sword fight?
If it was
Oh,
Tom Holland
God.
Spider-Man because he's got spider strength, sure, but I don't know about that. And right there, it didn't look like Tom Holland has put on any muscle.
Oh God, no.
No.
He doesn't look like he's in shape at all or fit. And listen, Matt Damon, this ain't Born Identity Matt Damon.
Yeah,
Ooh, I love
Matt
Born
Damon
Identity.
should be bulked up to the biggest of his entire career. Like Odysseus, he's not as strong as someone like Ajax or something like that, but he is
'cause
an
he's not a
absolute.
god.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah,
He's
that's
very very strong. He can.
Yeah.
He's the only one who could string that bow.
Odysseus is. You mentioned Ajax. We mentioned Achilles. Those are demigods
Mhm.
who have unearthly abilities. But Odysseus is the perfect specimen of a human, a regular non-divine blood human
He-
at peak performance.
He's the Batman of the
Yeah.
Greek Justice
And
League.
he's the
Sure
genius.
is.
He's the strategist. He's the
Mhm.
smartest man in the room. And that's why, I mean, Odysseus more often than not will outthink you rather than brute force you. It's only at the very end of the Odyssey where he slaughters the suitors. That's different. That's you guys tried to F my wife, even though I was off effing everybody else under the sun while I was out and about.
Laying pipe.
Yes. So I mean, but that was personal. So he slaughtered everybody. He didn't have to outthink him. He just slaughtered them. But every other instance in the Odyssey, Odysseus's greatest brain, as Jed said, is the Batman type brain situation. He's gonna outthink you, outsmart you. He's going to trick you. That he is the genius behind the Trojan horse. That's his
Mhm.
brainchild. I don't see Matt Damon doing any of that right now. It's not a good fit. And I said this to Jen when we talked about this yesterday. It's been put out there, and I would sort of agree with it. Why not tap Sean Bean to reprise his role as Odysseus? It's because he did it. It wouldn't be a direct sequel to Troy, but people would want to see it also because he's Sean Bean. And
Yeah.
we'd love to see a movie where Sean Bean doesn't die.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be great.
I mean, Sean Bean's better than Matt Damon. He still isn't up there with like Kenneth Branagh or even John Bernthal, I think.
No.
But yeah, can you imagine Matt Damon trying to convince Polyphemus that his name is nobody? He's gonna play it for laughs. It's like, oh, I'm nobody. It's gonna be weird seeing Matt Damon try to do that.
Don't say that out loud. These demons can hear you. Don't say that.
It's you know what? It's probably already done.
Literally my favorite part of the entire book and the original film runs. My favorite part. I lost my mind when that happened. I lost my mind. I got so excited. I started to pee myself. It was great. I love that scene.
This is not.
Maybe that's who John Leguizamo or whatever. Old Luigi. He's playing Polyphemus.
Whoa. John Leguizamo's in this?
Yeah, he is.
Oh God.
Have him play Polyphemus.
Oh.
We have no guesses on who he's actually playing.
We don't know who Ellen Page is yet. We don't. There's a lot of names out there who have not. Oh,
I'm just glad Ellen Page wasn't Telemachus. That's what I was worried about.
Man. See, y'all really messing this up for me.
Or Achilles.
It could be Achilles, fun boy that died.
Ooh,
that would actually work. That would actually work.
God.
Anyway, in the end, though, what we have here is Nolan. His reach is exceeding his grasp.
100%.
And I think we're seeing in this instance, it's an instance of reach, grasp, and I don't right now. And we could be proven completely wrong in a year. This could somehow be a masterpiece. Just right now, what we're seeing, at least the legitimate stuff, little screen caps from behind the scenes, from the set, it's not looking good.
And okay, so like when we first discussed this a couple months back, we all knew that this was out of Christopher Nolan's wheelhouse. We all knew that. We all talked about that, and I remember we all trying to give him a little bit of grace because of how much he takes this type of stuff seriously. But now that this casting list is coming out, and I don't like what I'm seeing, and it's not just aesthetically, just like the people that are involved, it makes it gives me a lot of, it's disheartening a bit. Because I'm really hoping that this film is good, and Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors, so I really hope this film is good. But the dominoes are lining up, and I don't like where it's going.
Do we know who's doing the score? Is it Zimmer?
I don't think that's been announced yet, but you could assume that with it
Yeah.
being Nolan.
Yeah, probably Hans Zimmer.
Because here's the thing, because I bookmarked this for a different conversation. We'll bring it in now. Hans Zimmer currently isn't being tapped for any other big stuff because they kind of tried to get him to do Doomsday and Secret Wars, and he said, "I already did a superhero movie. I don't do that anymore."
Well, he just did do the 2 Dune movies and is working.
But you know what I mean though. But I'm saying
Yeah.
they tried to get him to do some other stuff for next year, the big tentpole stuff, and he said no because I don't want to do that. So if
he might be busy,
this has danger, Will Robinson danger written all over it. We're gonna keep following. We're gonna since they are filming, we're gonna get more set picks. We're gonna get more casting news before all is said and done. And I'm looking forward to that first trailer because I will save my reaction for this show. When it drops, I will save it for this show because we've talked about it as a group. I haven't talked about this individually by myself. So this is our collective discussion. So we'll save that. And if they're doing this now, what do you think? A trailer around Christmas, maybe?
If they're filming now, yeah. October at the earliest, probably closer to Christmas, but I've never wanted to be wrong about a movie more than I am right now.
Agreed.
Like, I want that trailer to blow me away and say, all right, I see what he's doing here. This was intentional.
The trailer's probably going to be good, is the thing. Nolan knows how to make a good trailer, but it's probably going to look good, but we're going to be hypercritical of it.
Oh, of course.
If they show Zendaya as Athena, that trailer's going to be ruined, though.
Don't say it out loud.
Coming down in a halo.
You think they'll put her in the helmet?
Oh, that helmet would look so weird on her tiny ass head.
Why is she in this film, bro?
She's in everything, Dre.
I don't know why Hollywood has a hard on for her. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it's her social media presence on Instagram is what it is. It's been discussed multiple times. It's because she has millions of followers on Instagram, and
she's not a good actress.
No, she can't. She can't act. She can barely sing, and she looks like a 12-year-old boy most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the Odyssey, bruh. This is the Odyssey. Homer is backflipping in his grave right now. All right.
Listen, at least Homer never would have been able to see what she looked like. Either way, I don't want to say I'm excited, but I am eager to see the next development in this story. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.